a Viking head today.
Yeah.
Hey everybody, it's Valerie from Valerie Wallace Fine Arts. Free drawing classes every day at 1 o'clock. Today we're going to do this awesome Viking. Did I just move the thing too much? I just kicked it.
No, it looks alright.
Okay, alright. This is going to be really fun, okay? It's going to look like a face, and it's going to have, because he has this crazy expression and the crazy hat and all that, everybody's going to know it's a Viking because of the hat, okay? Although I've heard, which of course, again, I didn't take the time, but I guess they didn't really wear hats like that, Vikings, but...
Yeah.
And then the big beard and all that kind of stuff. So it's going to be great. Everybody all ready to go? I'm going to do one in color up here, kind of on the large side, so you can see what's going on. I'll do a little smaller one in charcoal. And so, you know, you can do this with a pencil or you can do this with some colors. It'd be easy to do it with something, a pencil today would be real easy just because the color's not as big of a deal. Okay? Good? Ready?
Ready.
Okay, alright. We don't want to we want to have room for our hat. We want to have room for the horns. So that's what we're going to start with. We can squeeze his face in around that, okay? Alright, so I'm going to take this like sienna color to do the drawing, and then because whatever colors I choose to use after this, they'll just kind of blend into the this color, and the black obviously will cover it really well anyway. Okay, it is pretty big. Don't use the whole upper half of your paper, but find about the middle and then go up a little bit. And if you can, what's happening is he's tipping his head down like this, and so the hat, the curve of the hat, instead of normally you think of it, it's going to be a rainbow shape when you put a hat on somebody's head, this one curves the other way, okay? So, like I said, find the middle, go up enough so you have a nice good sized bit up here, okay, like about this big. So maybe this is good, right around here. Give yourself a little dot so you can kind of look and see if that's good, okay? And then what you're going to do is take that and make it into kind of a wide smile, okay? If you make it too sharp of a smile, just redraw it bigger, okay? Don't worry about extra lines. No one expects you to be perfect. No one should go to your picture and be like, well, you have one line that's not right there. I mean, that's just petty, and it's not important, and no one is going to be perfect. But you do want this to spread out because his face is smaller inside this hat. So if you have it a lot smaller than this, you're not going to have enough room. But, you know, leave a little room so you can get the horns on there. Okay, then what I want you to do is to find the top. So pretty close to the top. Find about the middle. And it does go up a little bit first like this and then kind of round. But you can just round it out like if you need to. Okay? It'll fit on his head. Does that look relatively even? I can't tell.
Yeah, pretty even.
Pretty even? Pretty even is probably good enough. Okay, so it's down here. You find about the middle of the page. Go up a little bit. Give yourself a mark. Round that a little bit. Find the top. Find a spot at the top. Round that over, round that over. Looks like a, if I put stripes on there, it could look like a beehive, right? Or an anthill. Okay? Very good, very good. Okay, let's do these horns. Let's do this first. It has this marking shape on it. If you go, the thing is we are trying not to crisscross in the middle, so if you can bring this line over a little bit here, and this one over a little bit like this, then you can bring it down from the top, and then just connect them. Okay, then you have that cool shape, which is probably important in how they like make a helmet or whatever. And it has a nice, this will be good little things to get warmed up with, okay? Some little rivets in here, right? Alright. Okay. The horns are in the upper part. That's kind of why I wanted to do that first. And these are enormous because this is from, I don't know why they were so big. I know, I think maybe I put a different helmet on. I don't know. I can't remember why, but they're huge. They don't need to be like that. What I want you to do is just start up in the corner, okay? instead of starting at the hat and just going in and out, start out here, because we want to use up the space. Now you know you have a place to go from. So you're going to go up here and bring that in like this, and then go out again, and it's kind of thick. Okay? So start out in the corner, come down, hit the hat maybe on the upper portion of it there. I don't know, oh, hat, maybe this is like the hat band.
Hat band.
What?
Oh, I didn't know hat band was a thing.
Hat band? I mean, I don't know that that's really what it is. I'm sure it isn't, but that's what you call it when you have like a Panama hat. Do you know what I mean? Like the one
Like
your
a
dad
wide
wore
one?
when you had your Polynesian party that time.
Oh, yeah.
And it has a little flowery strip of fabric around there. That's a hat
Right.
band. Although that's as far as I'm gonna go on that. It's not really, don't know anything about hats. My head's too fat to wear a hat. It always makes my head itchy. It's too tight. Good?
Yep.
Alright, let's do it. Let's make this face. One thing I'm gonna do with mine is it's partly like not right anyway. I think if I don't know, maybe somebody else photoshopped this, I can't remember. It's a costume. It's a picture for costumes. Is that I'm gonna slide his head into this hat a little bit more, so when I do the eyebrows, they're gonna be touching the hat. So if you're getting ahead of me, you can see how it looks a little funny. It doesn't look like it fits on his head. Especially if you're tipping down like this, you're gonna lose the forehead. Okay? Alright, so just keep that in mind. Alright, now his face is thinner than the actual hat. Okay? Even again, it's a little bit big. So I want you to, don't do it too close, but mark a little bit on the inside of your hat like that. Okay? I'm not going to draw this like U shape of his face just yet, because we really don't need to, and in this case the important thing is getting working our way down. Okay? So there's rules for things, but rules are meant to be broken. Alright. What I want you to find, like I said, we're gonna skip this little bit of forehead. We're gonna get them right in there. So what I want you to find is the two lines that are the width of the bridge of his nose. And the width of your nose is pretty tiny, okay? Even if you are a Viking with a big fat nose, it's still relatively tiny. So right around here, I want you to mark me two lines that are like that. Those look like they're in the middle?
No.
Okay, good. All right. From the top of those lines, you're going to make eyebrows that are going up. Again, I'm going to color these black later, so I don't have to worry about drawing them in too much. You could just make a line that goes out like that. But it's going to go right up there. It's going to touch the hat. Okay? Now, he has a little bit of whites under his eyes because he's tipped his head down, and so you're seeing the whites, his eyes are looking up, which would be kind of nice to have. If it doesn't, obviously your eyes can be in different ways. There's no right or wrong. We're gonna get his the upper eyelid right in that nook, right underneath his eyebrows. Okay, so get a line right in there like that. Okay, I'm gonna try not to make his eyes too big. I have a tendency to do that. They're like ridiculous. Okay, and because he's looking up, you're losing. Everybody's eyes are different. But you're probably losing that eyelid a little bit. So we're not worrying too much. In this case, we're not really showing that. What we're showing are these bags under his eyes. So under here, you're going to you're going to make the almondy eye shape, okay? Did I make them not too big this time?
Yeah, I mean, they're pretty big, but...
Alright. I want to make sure that I can put his eyeball with that white showing. Alright? It's going to be like that. You can add a little extra bag under his eye like this. Okay? We'll come back and we're gonna mean him up as much as we possibly can. Alright?
Alright.
Or her.
Yeah.
I mean, you could turn it into a girl pretty easily.
Minus
the difference usually in a girl's picture, like say if it's short hair, it's very funny that just by making the neck more narrow, it'll look more feminine. Which is when I like to dress up as a man, that's the giveaway part for me, because my neck's too skinny. right? You've
Yeah.
seen it.
I've seen you dress up like a man quite
It's
a
not
few times.
so much of a big deal when I'm a rocker, because sometimes the rockers
A
are
little
like
feminine.
a little more feminine, maybe a little skinnier neck. But when I was like the detective with the mustache and the
Or like a lumberjack. It's a little hard to pull off.
or a lumberjack or a Viking.
Yeah.
So anyway, if you want it to be a girl, give her a skinnier neck. Other than that, it won't make a lot of difference. Okay. In this case, look at his nose. Do you see how it's just kind of a V? All right. And in this case too, what happens is, you're not going to see any nostrils because he's tipped way down like this, and it's also a little bit closer to his face. Like, you don't, if anything, bring it up a little bit. Alright, so I'm going to bring mine up. No, I'm going to put a little spot right there. That'll give me, oops, I'm going to do these eyes down here. Get caught up where I am while I do this. Alright, let's see. I did the little space for the bridge of the nose. I'm bringing those eyebrows up. I'm going to hit that upper lid right in there, right in that nook. I'm going to round them around a little bit. Try not to make them too big. Alright. And bag those eyes under there a little bit. Okay. Alright. And then I'm going to find a spot. Alright, and I'm going, the outside part of his nose is like coming out almost as wide as his eyes. So if you want him to have this like serious nose, spread that out like that. Okay? And then you're going to have a piece that's up like this and a piece that's up like that. Okay? If he has a longer nose, he has a longer nose. It's not right or wrong. This is definitely, you'll be surprised how when you put these features together, what happens. You can't, it takes a lot to make a person look exactly the way they do. And everybody sees everybody a little bit differently. So a portrait is a really, really tall order. That's why this is great, because who cares who it is? It doesn't have to be specific. Because we're tuned into people's expressions and the nuances of everybody's face. It's in our DNA. But what?
Yours is just a little narrow.
Okay.
Yeah, it does.
All right. The next thing we're gonna do is I want a little. See how there's a little line right here to where the mustache is. Okay. So a little below his nose. I want you to make me a line, and this goes about the width. Okay. So skip just a little space and bring a line like this. Okay. It looks like a smile, but it's not gonna. But keep it up there pretty close, because if you do it and you're like, oh, whoops, I don't think that's the one I want, just hang on a second and use it to be his lip instead, like if you made it too low. I'll show you what I mean in a minute. The next thing we're going to do, which if you want a, like, hot, sexy Viking, you might want to not do this part, okay? But if you want a, like, aggressive, ugly Viking, then do this part, okay? Because we're going to put these little teeth in there.
Wow.
And I think, in his case, he's actually showing his bottom teeth. What I'm going to have you do is make a little line right here, just a little shorter than that one, and you're going to bring that up like this. And then you're going to make another little line right underneath it like this, and you're going to bring this up like this. Okay? That's going to be kind of his mouth. Right now, he looks like he is a Hollywood Viking because he has beautiful, beautiful white teeth. But that is not going to be the case. Alright. So, if you make them little, they'll look like the lower teeth. If you make them bigger, they're going to look like the upper teeth. And what you do is you're just going to make some lines like this. Okay? And if you take a black later, and the more you color in the black, the more it'll look like they're spaced out. Which I might even do with a pencil or something, because it will get right in there good. Okay? Down here, let's see, maybe I'll do the other way, so he'll have the teeth from the bottom. Okay, now our mustache is going to, when we color it in, is going to grow over the teeth a little bit. So, it doesn't matter that this line is smooth right now. Later on, we want to make it, brushy, hairy. Yeah. Okay? Alright. This is great because he has a black beard, so if you're drawing with something darker, it's not going to matter because you're going to cover this up. But if you're a little bit lighter with your drawing, try to draw this part lighter. But I want to find now the rest of his face. So we need to go down a little bit from here and say, like, there's his chin. But I'm going to keep his chin on the small side because, again, he's tucked his head back. So if anything, you want to keep it small. It will help to tip his head. And then what you're doing is coming from here, you know, right near his, you know, right narrow kind of face, like that, right in like that. Is mine symmetrical right now?
Yeah.
Okay. I've been looking at my dog while I did my exercises today from yesterday, and I was like...
Oh, I thought you meant Marlo.
No. Oh yeah, make a mark down here. I was like, oh, I wish I had realized how weird it was, but... Something else about it that I realized later that I was like, oh, I should have said that. Oh, I know. If you haven't done it and you happen to do it afterwards, a little terrier dog, one of the things that happens is the eyes are really round, and people want to make them like almond eyes. And I think most dogs have pretty round eyes. Yeah. Same thing with kids. Okay. Good?
Good.
I love this. All right. Okay, I have to draw where my mustache is going to go before I do the skin tone, and I want to do a little skin tone before I do the black. So you want this mustache to come like, you know, right out of the side of his nose, okay, like this, and then down below you're just going to make sure there's a little shape kind of like this, right? So if you're a little bit wider on the chin, bring it in, so, actually, let's see, this, oh yeah, and then this part comes right over the corners of his mouth. So if you're confused, so I'm going to make sure that there's a few places where he's dark. He's a little dark, right in here, right underneath the brows. You know, and this reddish brown color works great with anybody's skin tone as a shadowy color. So if you want to go a little more, and maybe a little with his cheekbones here or whatever, on the outside. If you want him to be a little swarthy looking, you know, use a tannish color. You could go as dark as you want to go. I think I will do it kind of on the dark side, not so pinky as this guy. Although those Danish folks are pretty light, right? They don't have much melanin. But let's say he's been out and it's been very sunny out on the ocean. Where's the one that I have? I thought I had oh, I'm thinking about the other ones.
Yeah, you don't have a lot of good.
I don't have a lot to choose from. I am going to use this though. I like the idea of it being a little. Maybe I'll use a little both. Okay, so I just got to remember that some of this is the whites of his eyes, right? Anything like his eyeball, you know, we can always bring the outsides of his eye, the skin around his eye. We can always make that smaller. We can always make his eyeball bigger. Some things are easy. This is a very forgiving kind of portrait to do because it's, so there's so much black, so it can like help things a lot. Okay, and so I don't want to forget to do these little patches down here below his mouth, okay, because his skin there, I mean, you know, we could have a different kind of beard, right? I guess it depends on your face, right? How your beard grows.
I don't know.
And this is his lower lip, so I'm going to make that a little, maybe a little bit redder so that you can tell that's what that is. Okay? I love it. So if you're making a picture today and you want to make me glow with happiness, I would love it if you would show me your picture, because I just love it. I just love seeing them, and I also love seeing how people are improving. And don't be shy. Don't think it has to be perfect. I think there's an album of probably 200 pictures that people have sent, from like little kids to people who really know what they're doing and have a lot of confidence. but they are all really fun to look at. So don't be shy about that. So if I'm shading with this, I don't have to do any ears because we're going to put all that hair around there. And if you don't know already that there's a playlist of more than 30 classes that I've been doing since I started this about a month ago, or a little more than a month ago. And, it's pretty much anything you might be interested in. I'm taking requests. We're going to do a cat in the next 3 days. For Heather. And the rest of you cat lovers out there. And, okay, is this it? And if that's on YouTube under free drawing classes with Valerie Wallace Fine Arts, and you can see a little picture, and then you can pick the one that you want. And they're all, pretty much under 45 minutes, and you can stop them and, see how you go with the pace you want to go. Okay, I want to get in here. I'll do the hat afterwards. I'm going to do the hair now. Okay? So I'm going to use a combination of my, do you see it? Is this it? I don't know. I have these two, the black and then this sepia, which is super dark, coolish brown. I'm going to use both of them. Okay? I'm going to use, let's do these eyes. So I'll leave a little bit of white in the eye, even though he's dark, mean. He can still have a little shine in his eye. So all you gotta do is leave a little bit of white behind, but try to keep it in the same place in both eyes, or he'll look a little cockeyed, and which could very well happen. Maybe he got in a fight and got something happened to one of his eyes. You can see it's out. What?
Nothing.
I got Tim and my husband Tim and my daughter Daphne here helping me today, and they're doing a really good job.
Thanks, Mom.
Okay, so these eyebrows now, what I'm going to do is bring these in like little brush strokes right up there. Remember, you might even have a unibrow.
A unibrow.
Whenever you can do hair, you try to do it in the direction that it's growing, okay? But he's going to have thick eyebrows, okay? So don't be chintzy about the eyebrow hair. Get that on there. Okay? Maybe I'll add a little extra right on the top of that eye, and that'll keep his eyelids over his eye a little bit, so he'll be looking up. Okay? He does have a pretty dark shadow around the outside of his nose, so maybe I'll do that. So when I do his mustache, it can be a nice smooth line against his nose, right? Because your nose is, smooth. But when I come down over the teeth, I want to do it in little shaggy little bits like this. Okay? There's some ferocious coloring taking place over there.
That's Dad.
Alright.
Holy cow, Dad, you're doing a great job.
Thanks, so are you.
So, he can have a short little groom. Oh, you know what they have a lot of times is a little braided.
Oh, I want mine braided.
Yeah, so maybe I'll do that in the black and white one. But on this one, you can just draw these pieces down. Like I said, have it grow. I mean, if he has big dreadlocks in there, I guess you can just do it in scribbles. Right?
Yeah, I saw a lot of combs on the Viking ships.
No, we did start watching a Netflix show called Norsemen. Do you remember that, Tim? And it was kind of funny, but it was just so violent. It wasn't fun for me. I had too much, but it was kind of funny. Otherwise than that, I mean, I love the aesthetic. Uhdred. What was that like?
That was a little wild.
It was violent, but it was also like had stuff for well, not that girls don't love violent stuff, but like, stuff I liked. Okay, alright, so he's got to have this crazy hair. The only thing that's kind of happening in this picture is that it looks a little bit like, he's a lion with a mane of hair. So if you want to have a little separation between his head hair and his beard, then you might want to be thinking like his shoulders. You can see where they are in the picture. They're not down here. They're up, coming out of the side of his head, like up here, right? So maybe he is, and the hair is going to come from where the hat, this little spot here, and you can fluff that out as much as fluffy as you want his hair to be. But I might say I put a little piece kind of like this, and some that goes over his shoulder. That will help me to have a little separation between his beard and his hair. Okay. So right in here, I want to make it nice and black, right next to his face. One of the darkest places when you do a portrait is that little spot right next to the neck where the hair from behind leaves a little shadow in there, and it's always really dark. So, hair is pretty thick usually. Makes a pretty hard for the light to get through. Yeah, the one with Uhtred, who was like trying to run the British Isles right in was it the 1500s or something like that? The Vikings in that, they were really cool. They had great style. Right, Tim?
Yep.
That's why you liked it, right? Viking style. Alright. There it goes. Maybe wilder hair. The thicker you make it, the more it's going to stick out here. Okay. Alright, I need to do this guy down here. So remember, you want it nice and smooth around the nose. Don't go up against. That would be weird. That's underneath his nose. People always get nervous about doing faces. They think they're too hard, but they're really not. And they're fun because we can always read an expression in them. But it is a hard thing if you want to, you're trying to do, really beautiful young people with no lines on their faces. It's pretty hard to do their portrait because it's hard to draw. The thing you need to do if you want to draw a face of somebody that's, not crazy and wild looking like a Viking is to make sure there's a light source. One of the things that I do when I'm, looking for an image to do with a class is I look up dramatic black and white portraits. And usually the lighting will be really strong, a really dark side, a really light side. And you have to have that because it's kind of hard to just, perfectly place features on a face without having any shadowing or anything. And that'll help. That usually, or look up the person that you want to draw and ask for black and white photographs. And most of the time, they're going to be beautiful, well lit photographs, and that'll give you something to draw. All right. There's that. Make that close. There we go. And his eyes. changes when I put that pupil in there. It was from being a zombie. Although he's a little cross-eyed, isn't he?
That's okay.
I'll just add a little out on the sides, maybe, to hold them from being so cross-eyed. He needs his brows done again.
Nice.
Excuse me.
There we go. And the bags under his eyes. On the black and white, and actually I could probably do this on the color too. One of the things that happens is that you want to learn how to use your eraser to make the nose, come off the face. A few lighter places, but particularly the nose. It's always sticking out there. And so one of the things you want to do is you take your eraser and you just erase in the top of that nose. And that light, because it's light and the things next to it are darker, they separate from each other. And usually the light thing comes forward. He might have a little on the cheeks here too. Okay. And sometimes what happens is you kind of erase a little bit bigger spot than you want, so you just go back and you kind of go around that, smooth that out a little bit. Alright. Alright, so he needs his helmet, and like I'm running out of my
Gold.
my gold, so I'm going to do the yellow on this. What I'm running up, then when I run up with that, is that his face is so yellow and his helmet is so yellow that I want to vary that a little bit. So I'm going to take the brown. Ooh. And ultimately, too, we want to make sure that we've made this line of the helmet on top. Okay? Because that's out on top of his brows and everything, so we want that to be on top. And maybe it's the hair of his eyebrows goes over it, but especially if there's a space there. Okay. You might make the horns a little gray, but you could also just, have them be white, and to make them look white, you have to color what's around it and leave those behind, Let's see what I was going to do. I also want, where is it? There it is, okay. I want to keep this nice and dark. The darker I get in here around his eyes, the more dramatic they're going to be. And I can, like I said, I don't want them quite so big anymore. So I want to leave a little bit of white behind. But that white becomes more and more important the less of it there is. It's contrast. Okay, so you can see how, he's probably a little dirty. A little darker down in here. And so on this, if I wanted to highlight him a little bit, I might use something right in the middle of his nose. Under his eyes here. Okay. And maybe he wants a little. If you're interested in, leaving a little donation, you can go to ValerieWallaceFineArts.com. That's my website. It has a whole bunch of pages about classes that I teach and art I made and t-shirts, Orno t-shirts, top end, Webster side, basin, Town Woods. Did I get them all?
Yeah, I think so.
And you can also leave me a donation in the tickets page if you feel like it. And that's super nice. Even, like I said, $1 is great, because if everybody that watched left $1, I'd have all the money that I would ever need. All right. So up here, let's see. Let's take something. Let me use this. So this is what I mean about leaving the white behind for the horns. Pretty easy. I like this one.
Me too.
Tomorrow we're doing, I'll show you the picture, we're going to do a rainbow trout. They're beautiful. Oh, I almost went over it. Colored over the whole horn. You'll be missing a horn.
It happens.
Unicorn.
Unicorn.
It happens. Sometimes the horns get broken off.
Yeah.
I don't know who's doing the horn in the first place, but there we go. Give a little bit right there so it's not too clean. And here, some ferocious drawing today. What else is going on? It's sunny and beautiful today, but I feel like it's cold out because it is
It's windy.
blowing. Like,
Yeah.
is it, Tim?
It's chilly out, yeah.
Yeah.
In the sun, you can stay out of the wind just like that.
So I'm probably not going to be moving any wood around today, but I will be taking my dog for a walk. Because I do that every day. Sometimes with Daphne, sometimes not.
Yeah.
But she has to go. That's her thing.
Me or Marlo?
You can walk yourself if you have to, but
That's true.
Marlo has to go with me.
Marlo cannot be trusted to walk herself.
Marlo can't get from the car to the house without running away.
No.
Okay, this was the one other little thing I was going to do with, do you have my pencil? Okay, is I got my little ebony Prismacolor here. And this is what you can do with the teeth if you want to make them look like, you know, maybe he's missing a tooth or something. I mean, you can do this with the pastel too, but see how if I start to go in the black, maybe even like give him a broken tooth on the front here. Did we do this already? Oh, we did this a little bit with the pirate. Some people did it anyway. Okay, and I color in this space here. In this case, it'll probably go right along the bottom because these are his upper teeth. Right?
Yeah.
And maybe that's pretty white teeth for a pirate. Blur those
Not
up
a
a little bit.
pirate.
Oh, I mean a dragon. I mean the dragon. No, I mean the Viking. All right. There we are. Okay, so I'll be here again tomorrow at 1 o'clock. I'll get it. You do your thing.
Okay.
All right, and I'll be here at 1 o'clock. We're gonna do. Oh, I didn't stick it up yet.
That's what I was gonna get.
Oh. All right, sorry. This is it. This is tomorrow's. It's gonna be fun. And yeah, and then other than that, I'll see you. And thanks for watching. I'll show you the close-up so you can finalize your drawings. Hey, Tim, Jennifer, Natalie, Robin. There's an Orno girl. She knows about the tough end. Alicia, Sue, Arlene, Sarah, my mother. I can't wait to see my mother's Viking. It's gonna be fun. All right, see you tomorrow. Thank you.